All right, first podcast with the Zen Diaries. I am Ryan, and you are?
Woo! Chris Mulcahy, good to be here, bud.
All right, we are a two-man band. We do it all, just kind of mix and match depending on what is needed for the song. We are coming out with our first record on the 14th, and we've been at this for years to try to get this done.
And Ryan, when people say years, it's usually sometimes a saying, but no. This actually has gone on for years. So the first song we recorded was back in 2014. I remember it was the winter of 2014. And since then, we've just been sprinkling in recordings. And then you have just been blazing a trail. And it's finally happening, man. So first off, great job to you. And I think everyone should be pretty excited about this. This was a fun project.
Yeah, absolutely. Takes a long time. I mean, for half of that time, we haven't lived in the same state. So
yeah,
literally, it's, and people don't understand, especially when you're making, I mean, these aren't like folk songs with just a singer and a guitar. These are full-blown like productions, and it takes a long time to kind of, and especially since I'm a perfectionist, so it takes even longer. But so we just kind of wanted to put this on record. I don't know if anybody's going to listen to it, but if you're interested, you can listen and just kind of get some insight into the 10 songs that we got here.
Yeah, and it's also it's nice to hear the story. So of course, the bigger people in the music industry, my favorite story is Billie Eilish. Just hearing that they recorded this in the bedroom, her and her brother. This is a slightly different story, just because it's a reporter and a photographer found out that we could both play music. And like, Ryan, how many times did we just have fun after our stories and we would just sit there for hours just compiling some of these songs and the excitement that went into every song? It wasn't just like, okay, let's just do this. We were perfectionists along the way. We would sit there sometimes for hours just thinking of one line until it was perfect. So there was a lot of hours that went into this album, and I think that's what made it so great.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll just go back to the complete beginning. I remember you came to Channel 22, and it was like late 2011 or 12, something like that.
Yeah, that's correct. And Dayton, Ohio, for all you not watching locally.
Yes, Dayton, Ohio. So then they put me and Chris on a story, weather story, snowing story, and immediately we both clicked on that. First on a work level, like we just like, we kind of, we're both creative in the same way. So initially I was like, oh, cool, this guy's cool to work with. Like, I know we're going to make some good stuff. And we did. We made some really good stories. We made a lot of good things happen at work. And then over time we figured out that we both made music and, excuse me. And we, I played some stuff for him, and he played some stuff for me. Because a lot of people say that they play music, and, some people just jam on a guitar a little bit, which is fine. But once I heard him, once he heard me, it's like, oh, we might actually have some here. So then we decided to finally jam. And I'll never forget, that's the first song we came out with. Not came out with, but the first song we wrote was Fuck Love's Changing Seasons.
Yes. So and it jammed, and it was one of those things, because most of our songs would be Ryan Heeter would be playing something, and I would just come from a random room sometimes or getting a snack, and just a line would come out, and then we would build on that. And one specifically that is a Dirty Little Secret that's on the album, one of my favorite songs. I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but the same thing. I came in from a different room, or came in for the bathroom, and you were recording the song, and then we had that and we just built upon it. So that's how Love Changing Seasons started, and that's really been our formula all the way through for 7+ years. Yeah.
Just had a little guitar lick, played it. We had that song that first day, and we liked it, but and it was a good song. We didn't put it on the album because I think we got better, obviously. But not long after that, we got to the first song on the album, Dream Girl. And Chris already had that song. You already had that song written. So the guts of the song, the lyrics were already all there, and you played it for me, and I was like, wow, that's really good. And then I knew it needed a little something, just to spice it up a little bit, and then I just came up with that lead guitar, and that's really all it needed.
Down, down, now, 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 now. It made the song. It was the bow on the song, and after that, we just got so excited. And just taking it from here, how many trips did we take to... This was the only one that was done in an actual studio. How many trips do you think we took to complete the song?
I think it's 3 or 4. We recorded at RTD Audio in Springfield, Ohio. A guy named Rob. He's a real good dude. He recorded it. Real professional guy. 3 or 4 trips there. I made a beat for it. You had that great guitar line and the great lyrics. I mean, the lyrics were perfect. And then the little thing at the end was like a last minute decision to have the little alarm clock at the end where you're like, in essence, waking up, which I thought was really cool.
And this song all just came out of we all have that, and it could be dream girl, dream guy, whatever the thinking is. But I woke up that feeling like, oh my god, this is the perfect person. And you wake up and you're like, oh, they're gone. That was just a dream. So I just wrote that song that day, and I'm glad that you took attention from there. And what was really uncomfortable is I've never been in a studio, so I'm so used to playing the guitar around there. So he physically had me hold a stuffed rabbit and kind of strum with it, and it oddly kept the beat, and I was like, oh, okay. But it was something I thought was so cool, because along with this album, Heeter, you've always been like a step above, because you're just a pioneer as far as what you do, but just kind of following your footsteps, learning from you, learning the studio process. It's been a lot of growth on either side, like the growth that you've made truly as a guitarist, and just as far as a producer in the studio. It's been a lot of fun, man.
Oh yeah, and that's a lot of people don't know that when you're recording with headphones on in a studio, it's so different. And like I do that same thing. I have to like keep rhythm with my arm. You kept rhythm with a rabbit. There's all different. There's all kinds of weird techniques you do, because it's just hard to explain how weird it is. It's not natural for some reason. But yeah, we got that one done, and we played that for some friends, and they were really impressed. And we're like, at that point, I think we're just thinking, let's record a couple songs. And then we were writing more songs. Let's see, the song 3 was Melissa.
Yes.
So that was a real interesting. Well, it's called Why Can't You See? Parentheses Melissa now. But yeah, real quick, that was we worked at the news station, so we had a story about this younger girl in her 20s. She had a young son, and she had a boyfriend, an abusive boyfriend. And long story short, it was a really tragic situation. She was murdered, basically in front of her son, and it kind of hit both of us pretty hard. It was just a really disturbing story. And there was a girl that I grew up with that was posting about it on Facebook, and I reached out to her, and turns out this was one of her best friends. And I don't know, it just hit us both pretty hard, and we're like, we just both thought, let's write a song about like domestic violence, just this kind of like this cycle that happens where like women or even men, I guess, they can't get out of it. It's really hard to get out of it. It's everybody just says walk away, but you feel like you're in danger more if you walk away. And so then we wrote that song pretty quickly.
And I think the most interesting thing about that, Heeter, is that it took that evolution, because that was something that we weren't really used to just diving into, but the tone of the song took a lot of different turns. It still kind of has like the driving beat about the moment, but I really like how many changes. I would say that is one of the songs I think that you've changed up the most as far as the speed, the pace, just because we wanted to get it just right.
Yeah, well, your now wife, Kimmy, she was the forefront of that. Yeah. Because initially the song had basically twice the speed on the beat. The beat was more about boom, 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 boom. And we never thought twice of it. And then one day after we recorded, she was like, that doesn't match the feel of the song. And she was like, it needs to be slower. And sure enough, as soon as I cut that beat in half, we were like, oh, here, this is it, easily. And then we recorded the song. The second verse, like the first verse is more of a narrator's take. The chorus is more of a narration mixed with the first person. It's kind of all over the place. But the second verse is first person from the female's perspective. And we all the time, we wanted a female to sing on it. Mm-hmm. And your wife happens to be one of the best singers I've ever heard personally. But she's also very shy about it. And we kept trying to get her to sing on it. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you guys came to Ohio and we snookered her. Like one take.
Yeah.
It took her one take.
Well, and see, that's the thing, and I always say is, hey, it's an honor with this. I consider myself a good singer. Kimmy's a great singer. So we started sprinkling more. I think that if we kind of had a different schedule, she probably would have been featured on every song on the album. Yes. But yeah, so maybe album number 2, you're going to be hearing a lot more from her. But yeah, her part, when you listen to that song, you really feel it. And she even changed up one of the last lyrics. So yeah, she became a big part of that song with all of just entirety. That was a really fun evolution.
Huge part. And she just put us both to shame because,
I know.
You said, you're a really good singer. I'm like an okay singer sometimes, but when we record, like we have to do it take after take to get it right. And she comes in there and we tell her how to sing it. Boom, one take. I swear to God, one take done.
Yeah, every time.
We're good.
Every time. So that's what I'm saying. We probably would have produced 2 albums if you weren't having to retake me trying to sing it. I know. It was like a unicorn. It was a unicorn sighting watching it.
Yeah, literally. It was amazing. And she's on, I think, 3 songs. And on the next one, I think we're going to have to try to get her on more because, she's got a great voice. So that song really, I think that's really close to our heart just because it's got a lot of meaning. And we kind of honored Melissa with just putting that in the title. You know, Melissa, the song's not completely about her. We did touch on, like, her son at the time was 4 years old, so we did use that line. But it was more just it was an honor of her in a way because it's just such a sad story, but more just domestic violence in general, just how it is and how it goes. Then that led us to Then I Found You, which was easily one of the most, I think that's one of the most popular songs we have as far as when we let friends hear it.
Yeah, and that one's just really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the fun parts, and you almost have to listen to it a few times to catch how many different social media sites that we actually rolled through. I was proud of us. I'm like, I think that we looked up all of, hey, what are the top social dating websites? And at that time, so I think that's about 2015 or so, I think we squeezed in pretty much all of them.
Yeah, literally. And that's what we did. I think I had that riff, and we were just like, we need like a love song. But there's a million love songs. So we're like, how can we make it unique? And like the social media dating app thing was really blowing up, and that's like you're so good at that as far as like catchy lyric writing. So
thanks, man.
I knew as soon as we came up with that topic, Chris was going to lead the way with that one because with just a different, like you said, you got to catch all the lyric drops in that one. It's pretty good, and it's just a true song. I mean, there's a lot of people that can relate to that. Now, if you found your significant other on a social media site, it's no longer like it's no longer a weird thing. It's no longer it's like pretty much everybody now. So it all comes around. You go through all these struggles, and then eventually, then I found you, and kind of ironically, that's about the time you and Kimmy started dating, right?
Yeah, it was 2015, and it was shortly after that I met her on, it was through just a Facebook chat. We just messaged each other and chatting back and forth, and then we met in person. So I joined in on that, and we were thinking about doing some sort of video, and I think that we still could, is have people that have had successful relationships via social media or these different platforms and make a big collage video where I think that the cool thing about this, Heeter, is that we're releasing the album, but now we have the chance, because you're going to come down here in Charlotte, and we're going to start producing it as far as the video goes, because that's where this all started. You and I making fun TV, and I'm excited to actually bring some of these songs to life and put the visuals on them.
Yeah, like ultimately we would have loved to have a couple music videos made by now, but with COVID and the 8-hour difference, really COVID more than anything. We would already had that done, so that will be coming for sure. And quickly, I just want to give a shout out to Kimmy, because Kimmy has been like a cheerleader for you, obviously, but for both of us throughout this process, really just helping in any way she could, and obviously lending herself to the songs. And I've told you guys many times before, you guys are like the couple to look up to as far as what you want. Like it's exactly how it should be. She's so supportive and so just like a cheerleader for you, and it's awesome.
Well, she also pre-ordered the album. I was like, Kim, why'd you do that? I have it in my email right now. And she's like, well, I want to support you. So it's just like that. So yeah, she was the first one to pre-order it. So yeah, and she's been there along the way, and I'm glad that, and I hate to use this word, tricked her into being on the album. But she really accented a lot, and it's been kind of cool because we've grown with this album as it's been being produced. I've grown in this relationship, so this means a lot, and I'm so excited that now we're just minutes to days away until we fully get to share it with everyone. Yeah,
definitely. And while we're giving shout-outs, definitely got to give a big shout-out to my boy Ron Ladd at Road to Nowhere Records. He mastered probably half the songs on this record. He really helped me with when I hit a bind or a spot where I was not sure what kind of compressor to use or all that kind of stuff. He really helped me with that because he's got a lot of knowledge on it.
Yes.
And he's a big help. He has a great ear. So I ran a lot of things by him when, especially in the mixing process. And like I said, he mastered on his own. He mastered about half of the album. And I've known him for many years now. We've been in a couple bands together. We still collaborate from time to time. And he's always been a great guy to lean on for this kind of stuff. And he really helped out a lot.
Yep.
So big shout out to him. Then we go into the next song is Dirty Little Secret, which is probably our favorite song, both of our favorite song on the album. I think it's the most complete song. This is the one we decided is kind of like the first single. This will be the first video that we shoot.
Yes.
And like Chris already kind of said, I had this riff recorded. I had like a drum beat kind of recorded ahead of time just to write to, and I kept looping it. And then you went out of the room and you came back in. Thank God I was recording it. And this is how you have to work with Chris, because Chris just comes up with gems, just like off the top of his head. I mean, gems. That's how a lot of this stuff was written, is just recording it and making sure you catch it. And then that line that goes into the chorus is just so, it would have never, I don't think we would have ever sat down and wrote that, but you just sang it and it was like, that's it. And then we just built from there.
Yeah, and the freestyles that sometimes when I do that, it's only like 5-10% of that stuff is kept. But you kind of are searching for the diamond in the rough, and that one worked out. And I'm going to be completely transparent because this is a podcast, and if you listen this far, then this is just a gem.
I wasn't going to say it, but
I was in the bathroom pooping. So that's what I was doing. And then I came out, and then I'm like, oh, this is pretty great. And we started jamming. So that had an interesting beginning, and I got so excited that that's how that song was born. But it is definitely my favorite on the album. It jams. Heeter, I was actually jamming to that on the way to work because I work the weekend mornings, and boy, does that get you pumped up. So if you want a pump up song, I think a lot of people are going to relate to it. It's my number one, and that's tough saying that.
Yeah, and it's just a dirty little secret. It's just something most people can relate to. You're dating somebody or with somebody that's doing some stuff behind your back, and you kind of know something's going on, and then you figure it out. There's a line in the song. My favorite line in the song is, "You kept the truth in the dark, but now
hit the lights."
Hit the lights. Like, we're exposing it. We're putting it on. We're putting it out there. I know what you did. and This Is How You Make Me Feel, and basically just like I'm riding solo now, like, you know. And then that kind of goes into the next song, which is a very interesting song. This song was recorded super quick. We had it in our back pocket for a long time. Probably wrote it in 2014, 2015. Then when we were recording, it's one of the last. I think it's the last song we recorded because we're just like we need one more, and it was such a just an acoustic song. So we did it real quick, had the vocals done, and then I just added the guitar solo later. But yeah, tell them about that one. That's an interesting. This song needs to be taken with it's kind of satire. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, All Out of Love we're talking about, and so the whole album's clean, but there are 2 swears in this, so we got an explicit tag on the album for it. But it's what we did is, if a lot of our songs are kind of triumphant, where hey, we're over this, we're standing up for ourselves, and that's what this one is. That hey, I'm all out of love, I'm burnt out, kind of letting the anger out, where it's a metronome, because it starts up, here we go again, you're back out with your friends. It's a rant, and then it comes back to the little softer, but honestly, just having just like the heartfelt. I think that we captured 2 budding emotions that you first envision when you're going through a breakup, when you're realizing that it's coming to an end, where you realize you're fed up. So that one was really fun because it was super simple. We kind of got some things off our chest, and that's another one that's one of those hidden gems that a lot of people drove to, and it was just kind of just a passing song. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it goes from, there's 2 just rants. I mean, they are just rants. You're just burning on the other person, and you know, you get in that moment when these things happen, and then the chorus is just so beautiful, and then you got this like airy, like beautiful guitar solo that's just so pretty, and it's a lot of dynamics going on between like you're scarred and you're mad, but you're also hurt, and yeah, it's a nice little mix, and I mean, from where that one started to where it ended, it came a long way.
Yeah,
sure.
And that's one of my favorite solos on the albums too, because every solo you're hearing on here, that is Ryan Heeter. So you did such a great job finding the right feel, the right lengths for all those solos, but that one just wraps that song up with a bow. So great job, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And then that gets us into song 7, that's another very interesting one. We had a very specific thought in mind for that one, for Best of I.
See, truly, we wanted, and we still want, and we'll keep on trying, is to have that song they play leading up into the NBA Finals. I think it was around that time. I think it could, but someone has to catch on there. But no, we had a lot of fun. That's another. We have a lot of anthems. You realize that here, a lot of our songs are kind of anthemy, which is fun.
Yeah, and that's what we heard all these songs. Fall Out Boy had a couple just super anthems at the time that just, when you're watching the NBA Finals, usually every year they pick a song that they do all the highlight videos to, and we're like, we need to like get up anthem, like just something that just like makes you ready for war. And as with most art, it doesn't. The beautiful thing about it is the intention you had at the beginning doesn't always. It can take turns from there, and it did take some turns, and it became kind of more about life itself, and a lot of it's an interesting song, but it jams. I love that song.
Yeah,
that song will wake you up.
That one and Dirty Little Secret, I think, are 2 of the biggest jams that we have on the album. But yeah, no. You're right. It is an anthem for pretty much everything. So it has that thing. No, you're not going to push me down. So, and also, if you are really into grammar, you're going to hate this song because it's technically Best of I. But we also did that on purpose too. So.
Yeah, because everybody says Best of Me.
Yeah.
Why not Best of I?
Best of I sounds better.
It does.
It does.
We're gonna make it it's gonna be a thing. Don't worry about it. I think there's only one of 2 songs that I did a little rap on, which was fun, because I like rap music a lot.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
and did awesome. When I heard it, I was like, I didn't even recognize you at first. I was like, man, that was excellent.
Appreciate it. And then that gets us to Our Generation, which is another one we just kind of started with bare bones, and it just became something big. I mean, I thought that song was going to be just a little like minute and a half, like just not even a full song, and it turns into a 5-minute like epic.
And what was cool about this is, so I had a loop pedal, and you could only save, I believe, 12 tracks on it. And one of them was just that little diddly, and then I remember Heeter started doing like, ooh, ooh, and it was such a cool little loop that we did, but it was forgotten. And then when you came and visited me in Flint, we were recording the pieces of the album, and then that was a song that we wrote there. So we just stopped everything and said, wow, this could be huge. And we wrote that in 2016, and I think that the world kind of grew into the song, that the message that we were trying to set, because it seems like something we would write now. No, we wrote it 5 years ago, but then now it's perfect for these days.
Yeah, it's just kind of just talking about where we are right now. Everybody's against each other, and we're just doing a lot of stupid things, and just kind of pointing a light on that. Not a, it's not one side or another. It's just like why are we, just kind of analyzing where we're at and how stupid it is really, and how much better we could really be. So yeah, I love that song, and that loop that you came up with, I always loved that song. I'm so glad we were able to come up with something for it, because it would have just been a damn shame if we didn't. And yeah, I guess 9 out of 10 songs, like we said, the one was recorded in 2014 in Springfield, but the other 9 songs were all recorded in your old basement in Flint, Michigan. Well, I went there once in like December of 2016, and I went back in the summer of 2017, and that's where we recorded all these songs. And when we recorded the vocals, we'd literally have to wait for when the heater or the air conditioner would not be running because it was too noisy.
So, and what was cool is from those 2 visits, visit number 1 is where we wrote Our Generation, and then visit number 2 is where we actually wrote a song that we're going to come up talking about, Not Today. So it's also pretty neat that 2 of the songs that are on the album were also written in that basement in Flint, Michigan. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Freezing.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
And then, it was cold. It was cold. But that first time, it was really cold. But the next song, one of my favorites also. It's this song means a lot to you, and should mean a lot to everybody. I mean, it's just you're digging yourself out of a rut, and you're like telling people, just wait. Like you think I'm down now, but just wait.
Yeah, I love this one. Never Look Back, and that was an evolution that you were playing a set of chords, and I just found the message is you should never look back. Don't let people drag you down, and that one is fun. And I do have a little side story about that one. So before Heeter was going to come, I was mowing the front lawn, and I was listening to the bass recording that he had of that. So the harmony that's on there, I came up while I was mowing the lawn, but I had the headphones on, so I didn't realize that I'm screaming the harmony at the top of my lungs, just jamming out to it. And then Kim, when I got done, Kim was laughing. I was like, you realize all the neighbors were staring at you because you're just screaming and singing. So I thought that was a cool little addition and a little Easter egg to that song.
Yeah, that's on the bridge, the bridge of the song. That's when you did that, and which was, it made it such a huge difference. I love that harmony that you did, and I could easily see you doing that because Chris is very what you get. Yeah, you just don't have. You're not very shy, I guess, and you can just get into the moment, and that's one of the great things about you is you don't really care what anybody thinks. You just get in the moment and you're doing what you want to do, and so be it.
Yeah, make your harmonies loudly in society. Just do it.
Yeah.
And so hey, I'm never gonna look back. Just living off the song. But so if you seriously, you can it's empowering. So that is one of my favorite songs as well. I feel like I've said that about all of them, so maybe I should put that saying down.
Right, yeah. We're, of course, biased. They're going to be near and dear to our heart, but I do feel like if people actually give these songs a chance, that, you know, you should enjoy a lot of them, I would think. And then that gives us to the last song, which was already mentioned, Not Today. And that's, I think I had the guitar, I had some of that song already recorded, like the music. And I brought it to Chris, and we were like, we need one song. And then at the time, I think it was there was just a lot. It's like every week on my Facebook feed, someone else was dying. Like somebody else, maybe not like a close friend, but an acquaintance from the past, or somebody I went to high school with. And it's just like, at the time, it's just like, I don't know, I kind of wanted to just write a song when somebody close to you dies, basically when a friend dies, especially with the heroin epidemic that was going on. Like I said, just people you just never would expect. But with addiction, anybody can get sucked into it, and we've seen that. And just kind of a song, and just losing a friend or someone close to you. So that's where that one came out.
Yeah, it was a good message to write, and I think that also kind of shows what the album is we've challenged some issues, we've brought up some sensitive facts, but then you also have the songs that are going to empower you. It's going to rise you to another level. So I think that's what I love about the album, is how different each song and each feel is as you're going track to track. So, and that was purposely done, because we could have done all love songs, but it's fun because this really does wrap up life.
Yeah, and that's why we really, really struggled to name the album, because there wasn't one theme or anything. We really did touch on so many different things. I mean, we didn't name it until a couple months ago. I mean, and it was just, it took us forever. We just could not come up with something that worked. So, Burn After Reading was just fit with the title of our band. So, and then I just forgot, we didn't even talk about the first song.
Oh yeah, do you know what, wrap it up. Well, before we get to it, Heeter, should we tell everyone why we're called the Zen Diaries? How that happened?
Yeah. Go ahead and tell them.
All right, so I thought that this was really interesting, is that, so a lot of times just two guys pacing around the living room trying to figure out a line or whatever piece of the song. Well, we were trying to figure out what our band name is going to be, and I decided to switch things up, and I started doing like the meditating yoga pose, cross legs, and Heeter just goes, all right, Zen Diaries, get up the floor and take this seriously. And I was like, that's it. And I just wrote it down, and then he kind of looked at each other and was like, well, that's it. So Ryan Heeter actually named the band, but it was more of a joke, but it worked out really well.
Yeah. And then, the title track to the album, the first song is called just Zen Diaries, and we wrote that one, I think, probably in 2016, 2015. Mm-hmm. And it started with that initial riff at the beginning, and then we built upon it, and it was just like jam, and we were just really liking where it was going. And then I don't even know how, I don't remember how we decided to title it Zen Diaries, but do you remember anything? Eventually the song kind of became like what our Zen Diaries was, which is basically music. It's basically a love letter to music, and what music does for us.
That was beautifully put. No, that's exactly it. I have nothing else to add. That was the perfect sentence. Surprising that one came really quick. Sometimes take a while. That was another one that came really quick.
Yeah, real quick. And then the end of the song, you'll hear kind of like papers shuffling, and then you'll hear like a big bang at the end. And just, I don't know if people are gonna get it right off the top, but at the end, you're going through the diaries. You're flipping through your diaries, and then at the end, that's the book closing. So, if you were wondering.
Yeah, and that's what it's fun to do this, just to talk about the little hidden things that are behind each song. It was a lot of fun, but I was the singer. I know that I was there for the song process, but this would not be happening if it weren't for you, buddy. So the big kudos. You have been working so hard to make all these perfect, and I remember hearing them a few years ago to where they are now. Yeah, you've outdone yourself. So I'm so excited because this is just the beginning of many more great songs, and it's awesome, bud. So round of applause. Just meet me here by myself in my room.
Well, I appreciate it, but yeah, obviously it wouldn't happen without you because yeah, it really is a 50-50 thing. I hope people listen to it. You know, these days it's hard to get people to invest any amount of time into anything.
True.
But I mean, whatever it is, we did it, and I'm proud of it. And you know, hopefully people will listen. And we will.
Hopefully.
And now the greatest thing about it is this is finally done. Like for anybody that does any kind of art, you'll understand that when you're in the creation of something, it is so hard to finally put a stamp on it and be done with it. And that's why this takes so long, because I just constantly would think it could be better. So but when you get to that point, it's so nice because now we can move forward. We can make a couple videos for a couple of these songs, and then we can start writing new songs.
Yeah, get ready for a lot more to be produced. Because when you come here and we're going to record that video, a song's just going to pop up. That's the way it is. There are a lot of songs that are in these books. We have notebooks filled with just ideas and other things like that, but these 10 are definitely the best ones that we've written. And that's why, as we mentioned, this is my last minute pitch. There's a song for everyone on here. Regardless, you have gone through something on this album, and that's what I think makes it special.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, if you listen to the end, by the way, we appreciate you. You're a true friend and a true fan of the band, so thanks.
Appreciate it. Well, guys, hope you listen to the album, and we appreciate you listening. So, take care.
Bye.
The Zen Diaries, Burn After Reading, available May 14th, 2021 on all major streaming platforms. You can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it on iTunes, and any other digital marketplace. Thank you.